All right, I'm going to show one of our pellet stoves here. I'll show you how it operates, how it works. Here we have pellets that we made the other day. These pellets were made out of some trees and branches that we ran through one of our chipper shredders there. You can see I poured some in the hopper. I'm not filling it because we're in Miami and I'm not going to run this thing for the next 4 days here. So at any rate, you can see that the hopper actually will hold a little more than 5-gallon bucket worth of pellets. It's a good sized hopper. You fill that up depending on how hot you have to make your home. It'll run for quite some time. Down here we have the burn pot. Right there is your igniter. And the pellets are going to fall out of this hole. You'll see them as it starts up. You clean it. You open this up here, and the ashes and everything will slide into this pot. And that's it. That's pretty much it for maintenance on it, aside from seldomly cleaning your window. Here's your flue as well. So, take a look back here. Now, this is not getting hooked up to a chimney. Here's your chimney port, and this is your air intake. So this is where the air is going to be sucked in, and this is where the smoke, or very little that there is, but this is where the smoke will come out. So this has to get plumbed into a chimney or some form of ventilation to go outside whatever you're heating. Here's the information on the model. So what you can see is that the heating output is 6 to 11 kilowatts. So what that translates to in BTUs is between 20 and 37,000 BTUs. So let's get it started. It's quite simple. It's 110. It's plugged in. Turn the switch on. Power it up. That's it. So we'll come back here. And you can, the auger will start spinning there a bit. So I'll just glare. Open this up so you can see the first shoe fall out. So it automatically feeds itself. Obviously the igniter is warming up itself there as well. One thing I can tell you from firsthand experience is growing up in the Northeast, chores as a kid, to say the least, were to fill the the wood rack. We had a wood stove that heated the house up there. And for anyone up in the north, or anywhere in the north, northeast, northwest, central, wherever, if you have a wood stove or a fireplace, you know what the chores entail, and it can get it's just overboard. I mean, it's to a point where it makes a mess. It's not the most fun chore to have, to say the least. So, good thing is it's only seasonal. At any rate, this makes it 1,000 times easier. Literally, this is your wood rack, so to speak. That's it. My advice is, if anyone out there watching this video happens to be in the woodworking industry, I would make some sort of decorative pellet container. You know, I'm going to shut this now because we're going to start smoking. But if you were to make, say, a whiskey barrel, cut in half or something along those lines to make them decorative, I think that would be pretty good. No, we do not make them. We do not plan to make them. So, at any rate, see it's coming down here. Zoomed in a little bit for you. Let's see if we can get this. So you can get a good glimpse up. We're going to get some fires popping up here. So, what's happening now is, and you can see there's really no smoke even coming out of this. I can smell it a little bit, but there's not really any significant amount. But you can see how easy it is. And there's no kindling, no newspaper crumpled up into balls, no little tiny pieces of, fire starters, nothing. Literally, you pour some pellets into the hopper, I mean, that's the most difficult part of the entire process. Pour in the hopper, flick a switch, press start. That's it. This model also comes with a controller, and with the controller you can turn the temperature up or down. So the heat this puts out, like I said, is going to range between the 20,000 and 37,000 BTUs. There's a little remote. So it'll put out between 20,000 and 37,000 BTUs. You can figure that out for whatever your area that you're trying to heat is. It's going to range, and the reason why there's a range on that is based on the different materials. Obviously, if you're using something that different types of pellets burn at different BTUs. I don't know the list of each of them, so that's on you to figure those ones out. But at any rate, this is the pellet stove. One other aspect that this has, or one other option I should say that it has is, and I'm probably not going to let it run this long because I've got to shut it down I'm not trying to heat the whole warehouse here in Miami. It's already quite warm enough. At any rate, one of the things that the stove does is when you turn it off, it'll burn out. When it's done burning out, inside that, the cook pot, the floor of the cook pot, there's actually, I'll show you real quick, I'll bring you in here. You see that stainless steel axle right there? That actually spins, so it does a 180-degree spin. So the ashes that are left over, which are very few to begin with, but the ashes that are there, it'll turn over 180 degrees and dumps them into the ash pot. So it's somewhat self-cleaning. Again, I've done several different burns of this particular stove over the last couple of weeks, and I've yet to empty out the ash pot below. There's very, very little that it makes. As you can see, the fire's going. This is where the chimney would be, right here. You can feel the heat coming out, but I don't see any smoke. So, to show the cleanliness that the pellets burn, I mean, that's. So one of the things also that it'll do is when you shut it off, you go over, hit the power button, it'll say, are you sure? You click yes. I already did this. You click yes. And what it does is it'll kick up the fans a bit, and it's going to put out the fire at this point. It blows in a bunch of air, it stops putting pellets in, and it gets the pellets that are in there to really burn at a much faster rate. As you can see there, the air is going in there, and they've got the pellets bubbling around. So what it's going to do is, once those are all burned down, as I mentioned before, that little rod in there, right there, is going to rotate 180 degrees, and the ash that is left in there is going to fall down into the ash catcher below. So the ash tray, whatever you like to call it, and it will rotate back up, and the burn pot's empty. This is the stove putting itself out. So it's blowing the air in there and burning the pellets down. See, here it goes. So it's rotating. And it dumps out the ash. And that's that.